Hey guys, well, I came back on my Windows computer. I have my NVDA turned way down. That way the voice won't be too distracting for you. So, the reason I'm watching this is I want you to hear this. Vegans love this stuff. Vegans do this stuff a lot. And there's even some carnivore people out there that I think believe this stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, no. By the way, I found some bacon, but with sea salt. I don't know if I'm allergic to table salt or if, I don't know, but maybe it was dehydrating me a little bit. This one has sea salt. And oh my gosh, it is so freaking good. And it doesn't give that same like reaction in terms of like, ugh. I feel like I need something. It doesn't give that same reaction. It doesn't feel like it's missing something or, you know, that something's wrong with it. This bacon is so good. Oh, so good, you guys. I got a new toilet. There's so much that happened this week, you guys. I might just talk in my next video about what exactly has been going on because holy crap, so much has happened in the last like 3 weeks or whatever. Hey, Mark Carney, are you related to this guy? I mean, his last name is Carney and he lives in the States. Alrighty. So I'm just going to start into this. I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing because it is long. I have it sped up. I'm sorry if it's too fast for you. But let's just get straight into this. I hope I don't get copyright for this.
When people are in fear, in danger, they sometimes shit.
Man has got to do what a man has got to do.
This is Wim Hof, an ice and breathwork guru who, by my estimation, is responsible for the deaths of 33 people.
Iceman is actually, that's my working title. Yeah, what do you do for a living? Yeah, I'm an Iceman. That's the way I'm earning money. Putting bread on the table.
There's a dark truth about Wim Hof that changes the narrative around the fastest growing breathwork technique on the planet and which the organization around him has tried to suppress.
Yes, it's an image.
He almost sounds like he might be related to Mark Carney. But Scott Carney, he touches on something very interesting later in the video. And I might just play to that point and then quit the video there. But we'll soon, you know, I'll show you what part I mean.
It's who I am. Yeah, on television.
It's not only that Hof scams money from his followers and instructors, but that people have paid for his lies with their lives.
He said, of course it's safe, Mom. It's Wim Hof.
For more than a decade, I was Wim Hof's biographer and chief evangelist. I wrote...
Oof. My condolences to anybody, by the way, in this video right now, featured in this video. If you find this video, my condolences to you guys, for those who've lost family members, friends to this. Ugh. Monster. Wim Hof is monster he is. I can't do Yoda, his actual voice, to save a life. Oof, sorry guys.
A New York Times best-selling book about his inspirational mix of breathwork and...
I'm tired, maybe that's why. It's not that late, but again, my condolences to those who have died from Wim Hof, this stupid monster. Yeah.
cold exposure that put me on the bleeding edge of the ice bath craze and sold more than 300,000 copies. Along the way, I appeared on more than 300 news programs, podcasts, and newspapers preaching the gospel of Hof.
Designed to be able to deal with physical adversity. We're hardwired for that reason.
Like millions of people, I was pulled in by the legitimately astounding scientific results. A famous experiment that Hof participated in showed how cold exposure and breathwork can make changes in the body that modern medicine never believed was possible.
I hope you don't do this stuff, Carney. Maybe, Mark Carney, maybe this is why you're not all there, and that might be why a lot of England doesn't like you.
You can learn this in like 15 minutes. You can learn this in your shower.
It's actually frying your brain. You would think it wouldn't because you're in cold, but it's probably frying your brain, buddy. In a whole other way. You know how like windburn is a thing, right? Frostbite,
Believe it or not. And those results, they're real. I still practice the techniques that I began learning from Wim to this day. And more than that, I considered Wim Hof a friend. I tried to protect him from his own excesses and attempted time and again to draw attention inside the group, not publicly, to what I saw were dangerous teaching practices that Hof brought out into the public. But then about 2 years ago, I finally understood that I couldn't work behind the scenes anymore. The only way to correct Wim's madness and the organization's cynical attitude that values profit over the lives of their followers.
Hear that, Carney? Talking about Mark Carney right now. If you didn't value profit over the people, you wouldn't have so many critics. Just saying.
Was to raise awareness. And if I didn't go public with Wim's dark secret, well, no one would.
I got the call that he had been in a drowning accident. I knew immediately what had happened.
I was doing some Wim Hof inspired breath hold work. I blacked out in a bliss state. I spent 4 minutes in the bottom of the pool from oxygen deprivation.
Starting in 2022, I began...
See? Guys. Don't be doing the cold, hot crap. Stop doing it.
Reporting on the stories of people who have been hurt or died by following Wim Hof's increasingly erratic and confusing breathwork instructions.
There are so many sad stories in here. I haven't even finished the whole entire freaking video.
So before I was hyperventilating, like what I did now. And then I felt charged.
Because your body's actually scared. You're stressing yourself. When I'm stressed out, okay, if I'm stressed out enough, I feel that surge of adrenaline. This is dangerous. I've heard of adrenaline junkies, but this is next level dangerous. The only reason you feel so charged up is because your body actually wants you to get yourself the freak out of there ASAP.
The last one, fully out, fully in.
Oh my God. Just, no, not even this. Not even this.
And then going down.
It would be easy to watch any more than a dozen videos like that one that I just showed and assume that Wim Hof wants you to hyperventilate in water and then hold your breath.
Before holding my breath underwater, I'm going to do a minute of breath work.
Oh my God. This is insane. I feel out of breath just like... I feel like I can't breathe right now. Just listening to this.
Most people don't realize how dangerous that actually is.
And I jump in and realize...
Yes, exactly. It is dangerous. Have you ever jumped into cold water? You're like... That's what cold water's like. Our beaches, we're on the North Shore. Freezing. We have some beaches on the South Shore, but a lot of them are on the North Shore. Holy freak. In the summer, you may as well not go in them. Sorry, guys. It's just that cold.
He's unconscious or worse, and I pull him out and did CPR and called 911. He never came back.
I was
Oof. You see?
basically just passed out when I was doing it in a pool. My heart stopped. Then they did the resuscitation. I'd been in a coma for over a week.
Guys, are you hearing that? Vegans, I know it's 1.5. I'm sorry. But the video's long, okay? And some people are a bit slow. Wim Hof especially. You can't speak, Wim Hof. You're actually frying your brain in a whole other way than just like melting it or cooking it.
Or I reported on the truth. The more Wim's followers attacked me.
I immediately start doing the CPR.
Ended up having a hypoxic blackout underwater. Went unnoticed for 8 minutes.
Started doing it on his own, probably from watching YouTube's.
His followers even harassed the families of the victims and swore that I was Judas in the pantheon of Hof.
He drowned in a swimming pool full of people in 2016 as a result of doing the Wim Hof breathing exercises.
He drowned.
Bear with me for this sort of long video because there's a lot of material to cover and it only gets more bizarre as we go deeper. In it,
bizarre. I don't know. Maybe I'll pause my screen recording tool and see if there's anything I want to cover in this after I get to the point I want to cover.
I'm going to tell you the dark truth about Wim Hof and why I chose to throw away a lucrative career at the forefront of the ice bathing movement to pursue truth above all else. To tell this story, I need to go back in time to the first time that I met Wim Hof in 2013. I had just finished an investigative report for Playboy magazine about the dark side of meditation. I'd exposed an American monk who donned Tibetan robes and promised that his spiritual techniques would give his followers superpowers in exchange for often giving over their life savings.
Right then, right there.
I had just signed a deal to make that story into a book called The Enlightenment Trap when I heard about a charismatic ice guru who was making surprisingly similar claims. At the time, Wim Hof was getting moderately well known for feats of endurance in the cold and was on the cusp of making the transition from a stuntman into a teacher of esoteric methods. I flew out to his dilapidated farmhouse in Poland with a commission to debunk him before he got famous and lured in crowds of adherents under his spell.
I thought he was famous before 2013. But maybe not.
But things didn't work out that way. Anyone who has read What Doesn't Kill Us knows that this meeting fundamentally changed my life. Instead of debunking Hoff, I tried his method and was soon able to do the same things that he was. I climbed up a mountain bare-chested in shorts and spent the next few years trying to understand the science of cold and breathwork, ultimately hiking up Mount Kilimanjaro with Wim and breathing in the minus 30-degree air without a shirt on.
Why? Right from the get, why? Forgetting the breathing stuff, okay? Why? Because I don't know if it's one or two words since I don't type it that often, but frostbite? Question mark. Do you want to feel your body? Do you want to be able to actually feel your body? Do you want to have nerves that still work? Well then don't do this crap, people. Don't freaking do it. I don't care if you're a carnivore and eating the best diet for keeping your nerves healthy and keeping the myelin sheath around your neurons. Don't do this.
We made it to the top, which is Gilman's Point, which is basically the top of Kilimanjaro.
It was a compelling story because I went from being a skeptic into a believer.
They do the same stuff with religion. I've seen. Like they make you experience something so crazy that eventually you're like, holy crap. It's a way of conversion therapy. I've seen it, I think. Like, I don't know. I feel like with me, all it took really was things that just, all it really takes is there's things in this world that you can't explain just through simple science. You just can't. I'm not a skeptic of religion. I'm a believer that there's something. It's called being agnostic, for those who don't know, or might not know the exact term for it. I say for those who don't know because I think I have a few people in my very small subscriber list that don't speak much English, or English very well.
You ever get any really negative people who never really come to the call?
That's a very good example of that. Scott Carney is an investigative journalist. He came from America to this place to cut through the crap and the charlatan business, all that. And that was me, you know, the charlatan and the crap. Took him
You still are, buddy. You still are.
2 days when he converted into, hey, but this shit is good. And he was standing with us in shorts after 2 days. And now he's, he wants to write a book and bring it to America and everything.
But there was something that always worried me about Hoff. I've been dabbling in esoteric techniques since I first traveled to India and Tibet in 1998. And I knew that even the most caustic gurus bore gems of unconventional wisdom. Heck.
See, Mark Carney, you should have taken your cousin or whoever this guy is. Maybe you're not related, but maybe you're distantly related. I don't know. You should have taken this guy's job instead. Or at least taken a similar position. I think you'd do a lot better, buddy. Yeah.
Even Michael Roach, the fake monk I exposed.
You could even explore whatever the freak you wanted, okay? And you could write why I'm skeptical of this or why I actually believe that. You wouldn't have to have anybody question you on it because you're just doing your own research and explaining how you feel about something.
In my second book, taught powerful and even useful insights that could absolutely benefit some people. But the trend was almost always the same with popular gurus. Soon, they grew so wealthy and powerful that their own egos overshadowed the good that they did in the world. Eventually, people get hurt. I like to think of it this way. Even if a guru...
Yeah, see, look at this. The heal your gut guy, it's now a scam. I think before, he was actually all about cutting out grains and seeds and nuts and stuff like that. But then he started saying, oh, no, now you actually can eat whatever you want. Eat whatever the freak you want, and you don't have to worry about a thing. Just pay $1,000 for my course. Every single video, if you make a comment on his videos, or at least when I last watched him, you make a comment on his videos, it's all like he'll laugh at you or whatever if you like bash him. And then the next, like he'll just put like a one-liner like, haha, well, thank you for commenting on my channel. And then down below he'll put, please join my course. It's only, guys, $500 per half year or something. I don't remember the whole friggin' thing, but it was pretty much $1,000. And I'm sitting there like, no, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. No one's gonna buy this. No one's gonna buy this. You actually helped people before. Now you're not. And people are actually seeing you look bloated. They're seeing that in you. You're not the heal your gut guy anymore. You're the destroy your gut guy. Okay? And I know why you're doing it. You're doing it so that people come back and be like, I'm doing exactly what you said. Why isn't it working? And then you keep trying to change something else. And then they keep coming back for more. I know exactly. Okay? Okay.
Has like 80% or even 90% useful insights. That remaining 10 or 20% of bad ones can do a lot of damage. I mean, if a medicine launched into the market and cured 90% of people of a disease, but killed the remaining 10%, it would be a huge problem. And around the time that What Doesn't Kill Us came out, I was worried that maybe I had just gotten to Wim too early in his journey from inspirational figure to cult leader. And I wasn't the only one who noticed. Here's Paul Bowman, a professor of cultural studies, who was also following Wim's strange transformation.
Over time, Wim Hof has appropriated the visual trappings and the language of a kind of Oriental monk. Even though he's Dutch and even though he's white, he adopts an increasingly kind of messianic tone about himself, a kind of
I guess I don't, why I paused it there is, what does race and ethnicity really have to do with it? Is it because he said the word monk? Because I'm sure there are similar people with, that there's a similar name to it for people who are of his ethnicity and race, right? I don't know. I hate that. I don't know. They wouldn't be called monks, obviously. They'd have a different name, but I would assume they do the same thing.
I'm still on the mailing lists, and there's pictures of Wim Hof, like really badly photoshopped pictures of Wim Hof sitting cross-legged, lotus position, like some kind of a guru, with photoshopped kind of aura around him, projecting this image of a kind of messiah.
When I first met Wim, I was taken in by his affability and passion for exposing people to uncomfortable truths. He was focused on proving his methods in scientific experiments and didn't seem interested in the trappings of fame and money.
Yeah, that was him at first, right? Same with Heal Your Gut guy. He was willing to even help you get started. His course wasn't, I don't know. But now.
That affability was part of the reason that so many people fell under his spell. But over time, once that fame and money landed at his feet, the trappings, they took over. He and his organization, run by his children around him, needed to promote Wim as more than just a likable and crazy stuntman. They needed a consistent brand that inflated his spiritual guru image. This marketing package took its toll on him and initiated the same personality changes that experts on cults have observed in gurus across time.
Yep. But, you know what I think the secret to that is, so that you don't become that way? You have to think about what you actually want to see around you. If you want to see, and maybe that might not work, or if, think about you and how your life how you want others to see you. If you want others to see you as, I don't even know, because, I have quite a bit of money. I mean, I'm not going to say how much, but I have enough, and people, you know, like they might, if I told like a family member or something, they might feel that, oh, well, you're rich by most people's standards. Maybe you might want to do this or that and whatever. And I'm like, I'll be like, well, I'm not rich. I don't see myself as rich because it's not a lot. But I have enough. I can pay bills. I could even buy equipment I need. But just one thing, because my equipment alone costs so much. So eventually I'll get back down again, and it'll go away. It's not very much insurance. I wouldn't say I'm rich. I say rich is like there's obvious numbers, more obvious numbers, and I think the reason I don't feel like I would, I'm also self-conscious. You got to be self-conscious too. If you feel like your mind is starting to go a little crazy, maybe that's when you take a moment to step back and be like, wait, just while you still have that sanity, it's important to realize while you still have your sanity, to take that moment and be like, okay, am I letting this get to me a little bit? Because it's similar to when you get upset. You know how when you get so upset and then by something, and then you're doing something with somebody else, and then you start getting mad at that person, and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And then even when you look back, you're like, jeepers, did they deserve that? And then you think about it, and you know what, maybe I didn't need to get that angry with them. It's literally like that. You gotta take that moment while you still have that clarity within you, because by the time you lose that clarity, it's too late. Yeah. But you also gotta think about, you gotta make sure that nobody around you is starting to see an abnormal change, like a change. If you're starting to hear people go like, what has happened to you? You've been so, like, I've had that before. I've had that, like, if I'm angry more often, like, what's going on with you today? You know, it's like that. It's like that. If you start hearing people going, okay, what the heck is wrong with you? Maybe you might want to take that, especially while you still have your sanity left to be able to do that.
To quote the seminal book on the subject, The Guru Papers, Masks of Authoritarian Power by Joel Kramer and Diana Alstead, people don't want a second-rate guru. They want the one that seems to be the best. Gurus are forced to assume the role of the highest, the best, the most enlightened, the most...
That's the problem, too, is, oh, he's paying these high-level courses, and he's charging you this premium level, and blah, 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 blah. So he must be the best. No. Nobody's the best at anything. We have to get rid of this mentality of so-and-so's better than you because blah, 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 blah. I'm not sitting here claiming I'm better than anyone simply because I eat a diet of mostly meat. You know? I'm not sitting here claiming shite. Just that I eat the diet that's best suitable for humans. Like a diet that is much more suitable. But I'm not out here saying like I'm better than you because of it, or, you know, I do think the diet that I do is so much better for a human body than what I was doing.
Loving, the most selfless, the purest representative of the most profound truths. For if they do not, people will go to the one who does. Consequently, it is largely impossible for a guru to permit himself real intimacy, which in adults requires a context of equality. All his relationships must be hierarchical, since that is the foundation of his attraction. Just like Kramer and Alstead predicted, his organization stratified into an inner circle run by his children and a few select level 3 instructors who adhered closely to his brand guidelines.
Gross. That is just so gross. No. I think authenticity is better. All right? It's a lot better. Being you is better. Once you start to morph out of yourself and into this weird persona, you're not safe anymore. You are not safe in any way. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're a carnivore, if you're a vegan, or even in people like this. When you're trying to do the best diet in the world, that's when these vegans and fruitarians and, oh, well, I'm better because I'm actually eating better, like, quality food. Like, a lot of the vegetables are actually harder on you. The fruits are better for you. I'm eating the best diet. I'm the best person. You want to take tips from me because I'm the best that I eat fruit. Or it would be like if I said, I'm better than you because I eat mostly meat. Yes, I have kombucha. Don't pay attention to that though. Just pay attention to the fact I eat meat and only meat, and don't talk about anything else that I do. Okay? Okay. Don't like it? Blocked. No, I'm not like that. I don't block people. Guys, if you ever see comments deleted or disappeared, it's YouTube. Like, sometimes YouTube will sort comments into like a section, like, and I just never see stuff because I'm not consistent. I understand that. I just had a lot going on. Guys, please do not be afraid. Yes, I might disappear for a long time, but I'm okay. Maybe I'm just having a lot of personal issues, and there were quite a few things that were going on. I won't tell everything in this video, like I said, but I might tell some of it next video. Okay, guys? And I might use my computer again.
Meanwhile, an outer circle of instructors and hangers-on amplified the message without knowing what was happening on the inside. Maintaining proximity to WIM translated to making a lucrative living as a breathwork instructor. But people who wouldn't toe the line, they were kicked out.
So, I have sad news.
So, let me go back. I know he's speaking a bit fast, okay? Let me go back.
Meanwhile, an outer circle of instructors, just like Kramer and Alstead predicted, his organization stratified into an inner circle run by his children and a few select level 3 instructors who adhered closely to his brand guidelines. Meanwhile, an outer circle of instructors and hangers-on amplified the message without knowing what was happening on the inside. Maintaining proximity to WIM translated to making a lucrative living as a breathwork instructor. But people who wouldn't toe the line, they were kicked out.
People who wouldn't toe the line. Now, actually, I'm actually not sure what they mean by people who wouldn't toe the line. Maybe this person explains it better, because he has like a small snippet of somebody.
So, I have sad news. The Wim Hof Method Academy is kicking me out unless I delete all my Wim Hof related videos.
So, I guess if you don't adhere fully. So what I'm guessing is, maybe, oh, you know what I think that might be about? Maybe he was offering Wim Hof, like, instructions, like courses for free or something, you know? Maybe. Could you imagine? Like, and it's not even that great. It's not even that great.
Without equals, gurus ultimately isolate themselves from the people who might have previously been able to rein in their more reality-bending or dangerous ideas. As he grew more famous, Wim Hof turned away from real insights and instead leaned into the trappings of a modern guru's branding, appearing on podcasts and news programs the world over, spouting mumbo-jumbo and pseudoscientific explanations that misrepresented how his method actually worked.
Now, I'm going to stop you right here because for a lot of people that are listening to this, I'm like, what the fuck is Joe Rogan doing on this podcast?
I saw it happen with Wim in real time. And though I had no substantial financial or business connections to Hof's organization, by promoting my book, I contributed to the problem. And there are also things that I just missed. The cultural studies professor Paul Bowman noted in his research paper that Wim frequently repeats a story about his miraculous birth, where he almost died from asphyxiation in the first minutes of his life, and how his mother declared that he would be a missionary for God after he survived. But there is reason to think that Hof was systematically altering his biography to fit this guru narrative.
When you notice that each of his books has an autobiography in it, and the autobiographical details are radically different in each story. Like he doesn't have one consistent biographical narrative.
What? Wow. Interesting. That is weird. Does he even call himself Wim Hof in those books, or does he use a different name so that it doesn't sound like he's the same person? Probably not, huh? Holy. like, people would end up figuring it out the moment they bought the other books. You know what I mean?
And it's not just the case of, we sometimes get things wrong when you get dates wrong and stuff when you tell your life story. These are completely different stories across the books, and it's just it's kind of preposterous.
While reporting What Doesn't Kill Us, I was so taken by the way that my body had changed when I challenged it with cold exposure and breathwork that I missed the things about the reality of his guru aura.
Listen to this, people.
One of the reasons that I'm finally re-releasing What Doesn't Kill Us this month with 2 new chapters and restored pages that didn't make it into the original is that right before publication in 2017, my publisher and I caved to pressure from the Hoff organization to omit key details from his biography that showed how unstable and erratic Hoff could really be.
Oh, you see, look, okay, I'm glad I kept going. Guys, this is what's going on. I think this is why PETA is now the way they are. This is why, all these weird organizations, and no one is caving to the pressure from them anymore. No one. And FDA is doing what they're doing. Nobody's caving anymore to their pressure. People are starting to leave and disagree with them. Even people who aren't carnivore, okay? This is, like, we're talking Zoe, is it Harcum or Hokum? Harcum? I think it's Harcum. What's her name? Natasha McBride? Yeah.
Here are a few of the things that I'm bringing back. The first is what I call the fountain incident, or perhaps if you prefer, his near-fatal enema. If you've ever seen Hoff shirtless, you will notice a triangular scar on his abdomen that eclipses his belly button.
See, I've got scars on my body, not all over, but I have scars on my body from the feeding tubes, because for anyone who might be just viewing this and not necessarily subscribed, for those who might not know, I was premature. The scars come from the tubes. Could you imagine getting a scar from something that could have been prevented?
For reasons that I will get into soon, Wim had not seen his son Michael for 10 years and had arranged to meet him at a place called Vondel Park in Amsterdam, where there was a fountain that spurted water into the air in the middle of a small pond. He arrived early, and Wim, being Wim, decided to take a swim. And this part is so hard to believe. And so many people in the comments of my previous videos have said that I made it up, that I'm just going to play you a recording of an interview that I did with him in 2013.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had done it already like 100 times. You could say it is crazy or this or that. No, it's just a fountain, and I put it up my ass, and it cleanses all my shit.
Oh my God. Do you know vegans do this stuff? They think that doing enemas is like the only... Okay, I have a suggestion for you. If you feel like you're having a problem going to the bathroom, get a footstool, especially if it's not very high. Get a little step stool. It's more like a step stool, not a footstool, but... Oh, no, wait. I guess a footstool and a step stool would be different. Because this thing is only probably about up to my shins. The one I have. So what I would recommend is get something that's not too high, but put it in front of your toilet. And what you should be able to feel like when you sit with your feet up on there, excuse me, you should feel like you're squatting. And then that way, everything opens up down below. And you can easily just go to the bathroom. You don't need an enema, you don't need anything. It just opens everything up down there, and then you're able to push everything out more naturally. It won't feel like you're straining, and it won't feel like pain. You know what I mean? I discovered I had to do that because of my new toilet that I got.
In my intestines, and you shit it out like that, and it all goes, and you feel good.
But could you imagine like shooting stuff down your throat to try and make you puke? Like just Could you imagine if it was going the other way? Like you're making stuff sprayed down into your throat and down into your stomach to literally make you try and puke. I've heard like farmers have to do that to horses when they get colicky. The vets do that to like, and this, ugh.
Okay, so
But this time,
you're giving yourself enemas at a public fountain.
Yes. Nobody sees it. You know, you just shit it out. Nobody sees it.
Dingbat, guess what your son did? I'm sure your son did, Dingbat.
Yeah, you heard it right. It was a fountain enema. But this time, just before he reconnected with his long-lost son, something was different.
So they changed the piece on the pipe.
Yeah.
And it makes, you know, with
more power.
With water, you can slice this easily, or even stone metal.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the more precise or concentrated the water beam, the more it looks like a knife.
Sure.
Listen to him stutter. This is not good for his brain, y'all.
So that one got through. I sat on it with my pants, but it got through my pants and through the asshole up into the intestines, and it just cut it. And it got
This is why you don't do stupid things, guys. I don't exactly know if he's going to touch on his diet, the diet aspect of anything, but yeah, don't follow stupid people, guys. Don't follow a guru, okay? That's my advice. Just don't follow gurus. Follow people that have sound advice, that don't make a heck ton of money, and just, you know, again, I would say I have money. I have a fair amount of money, but I'm not going to sit here and say I have a ton of money. I wouldn't say a heck ton. I definitely wouldn't say a heck ton. No, it's definitely not that much. Okay? Like, but a decent amount of savings. They're not working on being famous. I'm not monetized. So, yeah.
I got my stomach or my intestines full, the cavity of the full of dirty water.
A jet of water skewered Wim and almost killed him.
Yes, see? You almost killed yourself, dingbat. You buffoon. Bart Kay actually loves saying the word buffoon, and the first time I ever heard that, believe it or not, was from a funny kids show that just somehow happened to be like something new that I got introduced to. I was like 13 or 14, and I like shows of all ages, right? So I was into this, and I'm like, dingbat, buffoon. I didn't even know those were actual insults. I thought they were made up for the show. But apparently, even people around, you know, I've seen dingbat in comment sections of videos that weren't even related to the show that I was watching. So, yeah.
He somehow managed to paddle back to the shore, and the first words he spoke to his son in 10 years was that he needed to go to the hospital. Now, the time...
See what I mean? Don't follow stupid people, guys.
Timing was weird on this. So I asked Wim if maybe he purposely hurt himself before his son's meeting because of a sense of guilt for not being part of his son's life.
And have you already met your son, or you're about to meet your son at this point?
Yeah, I was about to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
But then
You're just going to give yourself an enema before you meet your son?
Yeah. No, I thought, you know, I was so fucked up because of the situation. I just had to, and I thought of 15 years ago, I was always happy.
Yeah.
And okay, and doing all kinds of things in the parks, and playing around and fooling and doing crazy yoga stuff, and was always very successful, very good, very powerful.
See, the moment you throw crazy anything in there, and just, no, you're already dangerous. But, so he lost the consciousness that he would have probably still had. He lost it a long time ago, so by the time that he got to that point of like wealth and fame, it was already too late because he was kind of semi-unconscious anyway.
Very happy, like no worries.
Mm-hmm.
And but
don't worry.
That time I was fucked up, and I thought sort of tendency to go.
Oh, you're effed up, all right, dude. More ways than one.
Back to that time,
yeah,
to that experience, and clean myself.
Yeah.
So I went up there. And I see it still in front of me right now. I had a sort of doubt, but maybe it's also sort of
Didn't he die recently? Wim Hof, that is?
You get a feeling you want to kill yourself. You want to end the story, but not deliberately, but unconsciously, sort of.
Yeah.
Stop this shit. Even if I have to die, almost. I want to.
See, if you have enough awareness that you're like, stop. I think you know what that means.
Stop this. Something like that was going on.
Yeah.
But then I got on it and I felt it directly.
This was the story that Wim and his cohort never wanted to see the light of day.
I bet not.
To be clear, I've been telling this on my YouTube channel and online on Reddit as far back as 2017.
Oh, Carney. Carney number 2 is what I'm going to call him. Good Carney. Good Carney. Because I don't see him, I mean, he might have backlash that I'm not aware of, but... Okay, let's just say Carney number 2. You little devil, you! I can't believe you released it. You should never leave. You bugger.
But I regret caving to the pressure from his organization and not including it in the book itself. At the time, I rationalized it that I was writing about techniques that had changed my life for the better, and getting mired in the sordid personal details would just turn people off to the possibility of benefiting from the practices that he was teaching. What I didn't dwell on enough at the time was that some people would take Wim's teachings as gospel and follow his instructions without thinking, and that perhaps knowing how irresponsible he is personally with his own body might make them think twice about trusting everything he says.
Exactly. The way that people do ayahuasca, for example, I don't think we're instructed to do it right. I've never done it. I don't say we as in me, but collective we. Like, I don't think you're supposed to take it like that. And I think the shaman is the one that's supposed to take it, but are they supposed to puke? Why would you want the shaman puking? Are we doing it wrong?
Especially when some things he teaches can be deadly.
Some things. Try all things. I think all things. Breathe until you basically nearly black out or stop your heart. Breathe in such a way that you nearly stop your heart. No, thank you. Hard pass.
This is particularly the case when people follow his instructions to do his breath work in the water. And I've done...
I don't know. If I think I once held my breath for so long that I fainted and I wasn't even in the water. So, that happened as a teenager, and I don't know if it was from holding my breath or if I just was sick from something and fainted from being sick, or I don't know. But guys, just don't follow this crap. Stop.
A lot of videos about exactly how this happens on my channel over the last 2 years.
What's the Wim Hof diet? Is he going to get into that?
As I catalog the deaths of 33 people. And you can go check out those videos at your leisure, but to summarize very quickly. While the Wim Hof method includes 2 basic practices, cold water exposure and hyperventilation breathwork, it is critical to understand that you should never practice those 2 together.
Yes. I wouldn't recommend hyperventilation anyway. Guys, I'm going to go pause this, see if there's anything more we might want to cover, see if he touches on diet, okay? Okay. Actually, we're not talking about diet here, but listen to this, guys.
I saw it get worse over the years.
I was right.
As he got more successful. But many people who have known Wim longer than me have said that the darkness, it was always there.
See? You remember how I said earlier that he already might have lost that point? So by the time the wealth got to him, he was way too far gone at that point already. Yeah. The wealth took him the rest of the way, guys.
In the last year, an independent reporting team at the Dutch newspaper De Volkskrant interviewed his ex-wife Carolina, who alleged that Wim used to beat her and even kicked her while she was pregnant with her son. To quote the piece, he slapped my face, and then he dragged me through the room by my hair and tried to kick me in the belly. I was just about able to hide behind the couch, so his kick only grazed me. Her story was corroborated by court records and emails at the time. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice in the Netherlands said that they regret not following up on the case in more detail at the time that it happened.
See? He was already far too gone. So by the time the wealth got to him, stupid is what stupid does, people.
Wim was only sentenced to community service for abusing his son Noah. But
unjust. Life in prison at this point. Life in prison at this point is what this guy deserves. Oh my God.
that was hardly the first time that Wim was violent. Wim's own brother Robert has alleged that he saw Wim Hof beat his first wife Olaya and locked her in a closet when she misbehaved.
I wanna sorry, I just did. See? Bitch.
We found Olaya at the home crying, and she was in Holland, not speaking the language, and left alone with the children. Wim was outside, didn't leave any money. When he came back, he treated her very badly. My former girlfriend was
Not speaking the language? So she doesn't even know their language? And so trafficking? He trafficked her? That's, I don't know.
psychologist and saw everything.
Unless, I don't know, I mean, I get, like, if she didn't know their language, I would assume trafficking at that point, but, so he trafficked her and then did all of that crap to her? The freak?
He beat her. And when she cried, he locked her up in the wardrobe.
For those who are aware of his origin story, Wim Hof often cites Olaya's suicide in 1995.
So she killed herself. Oh my God!
As the basis for him becoming so focused on the cold to improve his mental health. He says that he was devastated by her death and the cold brought...
Oh, sure. Oh, sure you were. You monster bitch. Oh, sure you were devastated by her death. You imbecile.
him into a sense of normalcy and control. But Wim...
No, it freaking didn't.
Wim's own brother remembers the events differently.
You were not brought to a sense of control. A freaking criminal is never a criminal at heart. Who was born with a cold black heart never is brought to their senses. Monster bitch Wim Hof. That's what I'm calling you.
She was making his life very difficult because she was always shouting at him and blaming him. So, in a way, I think he felt relieved when she died.
I'd believe that more, sir. I would believe that way more.
If it is a suicide or not.
Oh, I know. Either it's a suicide or he killed her.
Not, I don't have any clue about.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked if he killed her. Breathe like this. And then go in the water. Now. Keep going. Keep doing it. Go in the water. I bet you that's what he did.
Yes, but I know he was relieved.
I probably did the breathing wrong. Don't care.
It was not something that he, it was not an act that he said, oh, what a pity. No, he was relieved.
Indeed, Robert's memories are corroborated by an interview that Wim Hof gave to the Daily Mail just a few years ago titled, "My wife's suicide broke my heart, only the ice gives me peace."
Now you're just mentally insane, monster bitch Wim Hof, and don't you freaking forget it.
Where he was quoted saying that she had recently asked him for a divorce and that there was violence in their relationship.
Oh, yeah, well, of course she'd ask for divorce. I would believe that part of it for sure. I wouldn't be shocked if she did. And you know what she could have said? She could have lied and just simply said, I just don't feel the love anymore. We just don't see eye to eye anymore.
After Olaya's suicide, Hof moved back to the Netherlands, and as I alluded to with his reunion with Michael, Hof left his children to raise themselves alone in a squat house.
Criminal! Life in prison! You deserve that. You deserve it. life in prison with all the crap you've done to people. I mean, you got a 3rd-degree murder. I think you were, or maybe even 2nd degree. I don't know. It could even have been 1st, but I don't know if you get arrested over there. He deserves life in prison, though. Life. The rest, like, I don't remember if he died or not. I thought I heard something about him dying, but he doesn't deserve life in heaven, though. If that's the case, his 2nd life in heaven, he does not deserve that. Oof.
Oh, and the children were grieving, and what I said.
And what about 7 sins? Isn't one of them like greed or something? Yeah, no.
Since 95 until 2003, they were abandoned, and in 2003, it was really alarming in Amsterdam that we found them like in a refugee camp.
He moved.
Oh my God. Absolute menace and a criminal and a
with Caroline, who later said that he abused her. And I know that Wim Hof often says that he loves the people who do his method. He loves.
No, you love the money they give you, monster bitch.
Loves the people around him, and love leads the way. But what does Wim know about love with this in his background? Love is not a vibe. Love is taking responsibility for the people around you and the people you influence.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what love is to me. I feel a responsibility to protect. The people I love are people like that I want to protect, that I want to keep safe. I don't want to hurt people that I care about. Like, okay, the other day, all right, my home care worker was cooking for me, and she was trying to melt down some of the fat, and she got hit in the face by a big chunk of the fat. She kept getting hit in the face. You know how like it sprays up? And she's like, this is getting dangerous for me. I can't do this. And do you know what my reaction was? It certainly was not, F you, get out of my freaking kitchen. No. It was, oh my God, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And now I'm probably going to get in crap for this because I put you in this situation. And she's like, no, it's my responsibility. Like, see how like I felt like so upset, like with myself, a little upset with the company for not giving me the right kind of fat. And yeah, like
the way Wim Hof uses love is just marketing for his courses. A lot of the details of those years are missing, and his inconsistent stories about his own birth and discovery of the method, they're all difficult to nail down. I only personally knew Wim after 2013 when I began interviewing him extensively and traveling with him and examining the science of his method. Wim Hof and Inner Fire say that the people who allege that Wim is violent against them are just in it for the money.
Projection.
Anneke van Stoffelen, she is a hateful person, and she most likely has a screw loose in her mind. They have hate. This is hate and frustration.
They say that I turned on him 2 years ago in order to make myself more popular at his expense.
Of course they would. By the way, anyone, and I mean anyone, who does things purely for money and doesn't have the ability to show empathy to even their own friends and family, when friends and family even start coming out and speaking bad about you, and when whistleblowers start coming out about people, like personal relationships they've had, whether friends, colleagues, whatever, when you get people like that coming out and saying these people are very aggressive and abusive and blah, 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 you don't deserve a spot on this frickin' planet if you're gonna be like that. If people are talking so bad about you that you're being told you're being abusive, there's a chance you probably are. It's one thing to get maybe 1 2, possibly even 3 comments. But when like every second person you see or come in contact with, you know, and you have to have a crying room off to the side, and you have to have all of this. I said crying, yes, crying room, or whatever. Because I've heard of like universities doing that. I think there was a university that did that. There's actually an organization that does that. I'm not gonna say which one, guys, but yeah, crying rooms, people. That's a thing in certain companies, okay? Yeah. Guys, like this is what I mean. If people get upset by you so much so that they go to the crying room all the time, or they stop showing up to work, they stop, you know, and they start complaining about you like a lot, chances are you might be a bit of a problem. And you know what the worst part of it is? You're going to need help. You won't be able to see it on your own. You're not at that point anymore. You've lost that years ago. Why do we have emotionally immature people running companies? Why?
He made a whole series of videos about me on YouTube, the internet. He's just a YouTuber with a lot of stories, fabricated and all.
He's
just a YouTuber with stories.
Said similar things about other independent journalists too, in the Netherlands, in the United Kingdom, and in France, who have called his authenticity into question or written their own.
Wait, on YouTube. Let me go back.
Him is violent against them are just.
Let me go back, because.
Just in it for the money.
Anneke van Stoffelen, she is a hateful person, and she most likely has a screw loose in her mind. They have hate. This is hate and frustration.
They say that I turned on him 2 years ago in order to make myself more popular at his expense.
He made a whole series of videos about me on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. So I think this is a guy complaining about maybe Scott Carney? Yeah, I think so.
The internet. He's just a YouTuber with a lot of stories, fabricated and all.
He has
a lot of stories, fabricated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, shut up and go cry to your frickin' mother. Oh, wait.
Similar things about other independent journalists too, in the Netherlands, in the United Kingdom, and in France, who have called his authenticity into question.
I said, oh, wait, because his mother probably doesn't love him.
Or written their own exposés. It's always the world against Wim, and there's been a little bit of an update to this. It's breaking right now as I put out this video, because one of Wim's strategies has always been to threaten the media with lawsuits.
Oh, well, go cry in your frickin' bathtub about it, monster bitch, because you know why? You don't deserve any money. You deserve to be bled dry.
And he filed a lawsuit against Anneke van Stoffelen at de Volkskrant, alleging defamation for using Robert Hoff's quotes, saying that he had abused his first wife, Olaya, and, of course, Carolyn Hack. Well, the thing is, just a week before this video came out, the court in the Netherlands ruled against Wim Hof, saying that de Volkskrant had done actually a great reporting job, and that Wim has to drop his claims and actually pay de Volkskrant's legal fees. So at least the court...
Ooh, yes! At least there's something there.
Are eventually getting it right and standing up to Wim's bullying against the truth. And there's one more thing. There's something here that Wim is missing, is that until my reporting came out, 33 people had died by doing his method in water. And after I made a little bit of a splash with a video that went sort of viral, well, no more people have died, which is a testament to the power of reporting truth over someone's self-delusion. What I can tell you for sure is that I sincerely hope that this is the last YouTube video that I ever do on Wim Hof. Since putting out my first criticisms of Hof 2 years ago, I have endured a near constant stream of abuse from his followers. And
yeah. Well, their brains have been frozen and fried up in a whole other way from the ice. Carney number 2. They have. I'll just call you Scott, since you don't have the same name as Mark Carney. I have too much of a problem calling you Carney, so I guess I'll just call you Scott. Yeah. So, yeah, their brain is destroyed by all the ice, Carney, Scott. So, and I think your distant relative, I mean, you have the same last name. You must be related somewhere. You must be somewhere. Maybe you're not related in terms of, like, any knowledge of family members, no shame to you, but Mark Carney? Judging by how the French talk about him and then how the regular, like, English speakers talk about him, there's a screw loose in his mind too, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe he does Wim Hof techniques. I don't know, but I don't know. Why do we have emotionally immature people roaming this earth doing adult things? They don't deserve the adult life. They don't. Especially if they're emotionally immature in such a way that they're doing this crap. It's one thing to be emotionally immature and just like younger brained, like you like more, you're maybe you still like Barbies or My Little Pony or something, typically made for younger kids, right? You like, little animals and like stuffed animals and things like that. You take bubble baths instead of showers, stuff like that. That's one level of emotionally immature, because at least they know their capabilities. But the people who don't know, these are the people that are dangerous. And we don't necessarily need to open asylums again, but what I think we do need to do is, they can't live without some kind of supervision if they're gonna even dare try to run in the real world. They definitely can't be the head of anything. The other side of emotionally immature, they at least know that, oh, I would not be able to run that. I wouldn't be able to. I have too many, no, that'd be too difficult. No, we can't have these people running anything. Okay? We can't. These dangerous people, they don't even realize how emotionally immature they are. And if they're not doing Wim Hof, then they're obviously doing something else, oxygen depriving their brains somehow. Hypoxia, somewhere. Somehow, somewhere. Why do we have so many friggin' psychopaths in this world today? Okay, there might be some level of sociopathic behavior in some of these people, but I'm seeing a lot of psychopathic behavior too. They use your emotional responses they use that and then manipulate, and, they pull you in. We have too many psychopaths in this world. Running organizations. We need to get the psychopaths out from being the head. We have to do it. We have to. This must happen before this world is over. Sorry, world. I meant year. Before this year is over. Otherwise, the whole world will be over fairly soon. Okay? Maybe that's what I was about to say, and I said before this world is over. Anyways, guys, yeah, let's get rid of the psychopaths in terms of them being the head of the organizations, okay? And they don't deserve a head job. They don't deserve power. They deserve to be belittled and ridiculed and insulted and sworn at, and yeah. They don't deserve physical abuse or anything like that. No, these people do not deserve power, definitely. They deserve to be belittled and purposefully underestimated. Like, how I said, oh, poor baby, go cry me a frickin' river. You know how I say that stuff? Go cry me a river then, Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. So, yeah, anyone who supports Wim Hof, I think, I thought I heard something about Wim Hof dying. I think Gatis might have, I forget though. I might be wrong. Maybe, if not though, Monster Bitch and all your minions, you don't even deserve a spot in heaven, just saying. As long as these people are gonna follow it all, yeah, none of you. You're gonna act that way, no. Unless you wake up, nah, you don't got a spot in heaven. Just saying. Because you're showing through your actions you don't deserve it. Alright? Alright. Well, that's it for this. It got long. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't record all of it. He didn't get into diet, unfortunately. I do wonder what the Wim Hof diet was. I'll look into that more. Maybe I'll find out. So next week we're going to get into sugar diet. Or next time. I'm going to try and be a little more consistent, and maybe I'll start seeing comments more regularly. I'll try. Okay, guys? I just get so distracted and socially exhausted. But this way, with my Windows computer, it's easier. Alright, guys? So, that's it for this. I'll see you in the next one. Later! Garbs!